So hi everyone, I'm Gardena and I'm back with another story time. I'm back with another creative life coaching session, and I want to share this story because I know it's going to help so many different people from all over the globe. So it's no secret that I come from a family of witches, warlocks, Freemasons, and family members who use spiritual gifts and divination for abuse. I've opened up about my experience with being spiritually attacked multiple times, and it was like this final intuitive feeling that I got. I remember getting down. I'm a psychic medium. So I grew up a spiritually gifted child, but I was different from a lot of my family. I always was a sweet one. As you can see, I'm the unicorn, literally a unicorn surrounded by wicked witches of the west and all kind of people and warlocks and all kind of things, and people don't really talk about it. It's not witches flying on brooms and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that maybe it could have been, but it's literally individuals in your family and families out there that spiritually abuse their children, spiritually abuse family members, sacrifice family members. I remember just having experiences like for my great aunt, and I had a vision about her, and it was like she was trying to speak to me beyond the grave. And when I brought it up to one of my other family members, my maternal grandmother, she was very strange about it, and my intuition wasn't quite clear yet of what she was trying to tell me, but she was trying to tell me something. And for a long time in my intuition, I felt like her death was foul play. I'm speaking on this because I'm feeling guided to just let this out and release it, because I cannot be the only one who have experienced this. Maybe I am, but I want to shed light to it, or maybe to this magnitude. It's very rare, but it's so true. There's families out there that spiritually abuse kids, use voodoo, hoodoo. It's Haitian kids, black children, children that are of Asian descent, that you have parents praying over your life, reverse, doing all kind of horrible things because they don't want to see you truly embody your true essence and be in your power, because they're jealous of a gift that you have that they don't. Like I said, it's not that I came from a family that didn't have gifts, but they use gifts to hurt people. However, my gifts are special. My gifts were like, I was like this light worker, so I transmuted a lot of dark energy and created light from it. So they felt like I was weak, and a lot of times I felt that way because they were using my energy. They were energy vampires. Energy vampires also come in the form of emotional manipulation, gaslighting, humiliation. I have been through so many humiliation ritual moments that I didn't even know was a ritual, but I was humiliated. My whole childhood, I just remember just feeling humiliated, being humiliated on purpose. And then when I would act out, then everybody in the family, whether we be at a family function or whether they just be in the circle with my maternal grandmother figure and her fiance, it was so horrible. I remember just growing up, just being abused in so many different ways and gaslit into believing that my childhood wasn't as bad as someone else because whatever story they made up. But believe it or not, when I was probably around the age of 4 and 5, I was sexually assaulted and molested by family members and older males, and my maternal grandmother's fiance has sexually assaulted me as well, and it actually sexually assaulted me when I got 18 again. I just remember riding in the car or the truck that we were in, and we were going out of town, and I think I dozed off and I went to sleep, and I felt something in my legs, and something grazed across my legs and my skirt, and then I woke up. And when I woke up, it was like weird, and he just started talking like normal. However, I remember I was going through his phone, which this is supposed to be my step grandfather, my maternal grandmother's partner. They've been together longer than I've been alive. And so I just remember like looking at going through the phone because I wanted to just play. And when I came across the date that we went out of town, where I had this intuitive feeling and I felt this feeling, I saw his hand attempt to go up my skirt while I was sleeping in the car. I kid you not. And I deleted it, and I gave him back the phone, and he had this weird look on his face, like a guilt. And I knew that he knew that I went through his phone and I saw what happened, and I deleted it, and they gaslit me all the way up until about 2 years ago when I had this explosion where I said I told my maternal grandmother this is what he did to me, and she knew. She knew all my life that I had this light about me, that a lot of lustful energies were, and we don't realize this. It's not just happening to little girls, it's happening to little boys. It's happening to whether you're a non-binary kid. It's happening to non-binary kids and kids that they're not fully aware. And when you gaslight a child into believing that something didn't happen to them, they're going to believe, oh, that didn't happen to me. So that was just one of the instances: the sexual abuse, the emotional abuse, the mental abuse, and sometimes it even got physical, because I wouldn't do what they wanted me to do, or because I would speak up for myself. And I remember having a vision, I would say around the age of my early 20s. First of all, I'm going to go back. So I grew up abandoned by both of my parents. My biological mother was on drugs. She was already out the streets. And, the more that I start to discover, her journey, I'm starting to understand and to see my maternal grandmother for who she truly is, an evil, wicked witch. It's starting to make me realize that she drove my maternal mother crazy, and my maternal mother was already batshit crazy. And then when you mix drugs and you're in a low vibrational state, and people become a host for all kind of entities to attach to them. And I am starting to see clearly that my maternal mother was used to attack me by my maternal grandmother and other family members in the family. And my biological maternal figure, the one who birthed me, however, I did not come from her, because I start to understand that I have ancestors that go beyond this physical family. And the more that God reveals to me, I start to understand that these people were never truly my family. And so I just started to go through a lot of different things. And like I said, I was born, both of my parents abandoned me. I didn't know my biological father at all, so I grew up not knowing him. So I just felt like a hole in my heart. But then it was like people around me knew who my biological father was. Little did I know, everyone knew except me. And it wasn't confirmed until I was 21. So growing up without both of my parents and just leaning on my maternal grandmother figure, being separated from my siblings went to go with another family member, another family friend, and it was just me all alone with this evil, wicked maternal grandmother. Little did I know up until this point that it just felt like a betrayal that I never saw coming. And I'm finally coming to terms that this individual just wanted me to herself because she harvested my energy. And so when I took my energy back, it's like they're trying to pull. She keeps trying to pull, and it's like it's no longer working because I'm in my power and I'm awakened to who I am. And if you are someone who grew up in an emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually abusive household, when you knew you were different, even in your family dynamics, because I had distant family members that were weird. And like I said, let's go back. So when I turned 21, I decided to give both of my parents a chance. They came in my life at the same time. I was in a horrible relationship that was toxic. And my maternal mother, she decided, it seemed as if she was healthier. She was nothing like how my maternal grandmother was trying to make her out to be, or so I thought. So I decided to give her a chance, my maternal mother, and allow her into my life. And that was so horrible. I have so many stories about that, but I want to kind of pull everything together. But she was spiritually abusing me while I was with her as well. She was on drugs still. She was just a functioning addict. And I had like this younger sibling I loved so much, but she was gone too. And they became like a host of where the enemy was just using them, and they were abusive. I remember the final straw when I was with my maternal mother, when I finally gave her a chance at the age of 21, after missing 21 years of my life. She feels like I owe her. And, this is something that I don't want you to believe. When you hear people abuse God's word saying, children, honor your parents and your mother, it's not talking about your earthly mother and father. It's speaking of Mother Gaia, which is our true mother, and it's speaking of your father, your heavenly father. Source God is mom and dad. Those are the only beings that you abide by. It has nothing to do with your earthly parents. However, this was used, that's why religion is used to control. And so she used that against me, but she was also dabbling into voodoo. She would go across to South Carolina and do a lot of root work towards me. And just to harvest my energy. She's an enemy. You see how I just say enemy? She just to harvest my energy because my whole family was against me, and little did I know. And so I remember I was so sick, and now that I look back at it, I'm so spiritually different from these people that me being around these people made me physically sick. If you don't know, your energy centers are linked to your organs. So my body was shutting down, and I remember I had a temperature of 109. I was under so much stress. The environment that they had me in was dirty. I was working off my phone because I've always been an entrepreneur, and I was helping her here or there when I could. And I remember one time my father, he gave me, my biological father, he was horrible too. He just is trifling too, but I just was going through so much, and he didn't save me. He cared about his stepmother, or my stepmother and her kids more than he cared about their own kids. And 21 years when you miss out, well, we used to run away because he went to another state knowing that whoever he got pregnant, which was my maternal figure, you think you're just gonna move to another state and leave and create a whole new family. That's what he did. He thought, he ignored me. I remember reaching out to him when I was in school. He ignored me for a whole year on Facebook, and you know, I just kind of gave up. And it wasn't until 21 when I was in that toxic relationship, at least the mother of whoever I was with was like, you know, I can help you. This is crazy. So I ended up doing the test, and he was my father, but he was doing the bare minimum. And I remember begging him for some money so that I could keep paying, you know, helping out around the house and keep money in my pockets. And he was like, he gave me just a little bit of something, and I was putting it towards my phone bill because that's how I was making money. They didn't have anything. I was literally working off my phone, making money off social media. And I remember one time I told my maternal mother no, one time. And that's how I knew she just wanted me for what I had and wanted me to use me. And she verbally abused me, mentally and emotionally abused me by throwing up how my father was absent and how he doesn't even send me $21 for X, Y, and Z, just basically saying nasty things. And she was like yelling at me, get in here, and I want you to do this. And it was like a crackhead response. I knew it was the drug. I should have known it was the drugs then, but me being so forgiving, because like I said, I'm a being of the light. I came in here as a unicorn surrounded by witches and warlocks. Little did I know my family was Freemasons, so-called. And so I was so weak at that moment. At that moment, I had just got out the hospital a few days ago, throwing up, almost died. My temperature was 109. My body went septic because of the filth of their spirit and my spirit not meshing with theirs. And so she physically, I said, you know what? I'm going to leave. She physically got in my way to keep me from leaving and attacked me, and I had to defend myself. And when the police came, she knew she was in the wrong, and she still lied. And I remember just crying, saying, I'm not going to give up on us. And I had to go back to, because at the time, the relationship that I was in, it was toxic. However, his biological mom, the guy that I was dating, his mom was like, you know what, if she gets back on drugs or she looks crazy, you need to come back here. You're welcome here. And so I ended up having to leave. And then when I came back, I said, you know what, I said, I looked my biological mother in her eyes, and I said, I'm not giving up on us. I'm not giving up on us, even though she had that outburst. And I held her head in my hands because I saw how her face was scratched up, but it was because I had to defend myself. And I was at my weakest. I was just out the hospital a few days ago. And that really hurt my feelings because I felt like I didn't care about what everybody else talked about my mom being on drugs. I thought that she cared about me. So I left my trash bags full of stuff, had to go back to that toxic relationship place. And then I came back, and she had my stuff out and saying, oh, she just wants to be grown. Honey, I am grown. And second of all, you owed me. You missed out on my childhood. I gave you a chance. I didn't do anything wrong. And she put me out just because she felt like she had the power, because she always secretly wanted to see me homeless. She wanted to see me suffer. My whole family did. And I didn't see it that way because I was so under so much spiritual warfare. And even my ex's mother at the time, she was toxic too, but she was like, I can't believe she just kicked you out like that. So I had to go back. And my biological mother was so evil, so wicked, that she called my ex-mother-in-law's landlord on her, forcing me to be homeless. And I saw everybody's true colors. I saw even my ex-mother-in-law true colors. Like, I remember giving up school just to help my ex-mother-in-law get her car. I remember like giving up so much for her ain't shit ass son. and her male identified as he could stay, he can go somewhere else, but me, you want to kick me out like that, and you know somebody did some whack ass shit like that, then that's when the spiritual war started happening. The black magic started happening. Luckily, I had a best friend at the time. I took care of her, and then because I took care of her, she returned the favor, but it was like I was getting spiritually attacked. I had to leave that situation, spiritually attacked. I moved to Florida. Things seemed to be going up. I shared my success story, spiritually attacked. Had to move back here, spiritually attacked. Black magic. Every time I would start a new business, black magic. Every time I would go somewhere, black magic. Blocked. Everybody rejected me. And even me coming back home, I was so depressed because my maternal grandmother, she ended up losing her home to a hurricane 5 years prior to that, and her house was still destroyed. It's still to this day destroyed. And little that I know, it's because of the evilness she had inside. And I remember when I first came back, I had this premonition, this vision that it was like this secret society, and I was pregnant. And it could be figuratively or, symbolic, but I always had something in my womb space that's connected to source, whether it be my creativity or like God. I just kept going through all the spiritual attacks, abuse, and the death magic that they were doing, because they were trying to take me out. I got so sick so many times. That's how I know that God it's something in me that's immortal. I can't be human. It's so many family members that it took out. So, you know what I'm saying? And these secret societies, I didn't know they were Freemasons, but they were. But back then I had this vision. I didn't know why I was dreaming about a secret society, and my throat chakra was had this. You ever see those commercials where they have the smoker thing? Yeah, it was like that. It was like I couldn't speak because they wanted to strip me of speaking the truth, because they knew if I speak the truth one day, which is this very day that's coming, the premonition I had where I would speak the truth, it would destroy them. And a lot of them are headed to death because they wanted death for me. So if you hear something about any of my family members, who I'm telling you, I ain't had nothing to do with it. It's divine intervention. And a lot of y'all have family members like that who have been doing a lot of stuff to y'all. Y'all wondering why y'all, and I said this before, y'all supposed to have a lot of stuff. But it's because of these witches and these secret societies, these Freemasons. Y'all can't do nothing to me. I'm immortal. But it's sad that it hurt me to think about so many people who are just innocent humans, innocent beings that they took out. And I'm thinking that's what my aunt was trying to tell me. So if this is justice for you, Aunt Diane, this is justice for you. Let the justice prevail. But it really bothered me. And I had this vision. I'm going to tell you about this vision. So I had this vision about me being in this, it looked like a church. That's how I knew it was a Freemason or a secret society. And I was surrounded by guns, like snipers. And I remember having this vision of my maternal mother, my sister, my brother, my maternal grandmother, all my family there, my cousins. You better glad I will tell your name. But my cousins, everybody, just sitting there, just in the vision. And I just remember, my maternal figure, my biological mother saying, no, I think my sibling, she said, it won't work. The one who I always knew was jealous of me. All of them are, but that one who always was jealous of me. And my biological mother said, it will work. Yes, it can. She didn't say it will, but she said, yes, it can. Yes, it is. And they had guns behind me, and they were leading me somewhere. And I just started seeing dead bodies of black in it, dead bodies stacking up. And I was pregnant, and I was crying. And then my husband was with me, or whoever was with me, someone I loved. And he was like, I love you. And it was just they were like, bye. And they were trying to sacrifice me. And I woke up, and I just didn't understand what that dream meant. But now looking back on it, I get it. And I have been dealing with so much with my health. But see, it would be like a health thing, and then the doctors would be like, it's nothing wrong. And I go through a pain, and I'm good. But little did I know, I was dying and being reborn. I was dying and being reborn. I was dying and being reborn, but not in the way that they thought it would be. That's how I knew I was immortal. That's how I knew I was immortal. And that's how I knew that they can't do anything with me. And this is the moment where they are being exposed. And it's nothing that you can do towards me. And if you attempt to do anything towards me, everybody's going to know it's you. But you won't even get that close because you don't know what is protecting me. See, y'all think just because y'all see me physically alone that I'm alone. Honey, I'm never alone. I never was. Even through all the attacks. You see, so I want you to protect yourself. Don't try this at home. But if you've been feeling like every time you get something new in your life and you sharing it with somebody that you think is cool and it falls through, it's that family member. It's them family members. It's those people who are hateful and envious of you. You feel like you can't remember your childhood. It's them family members. If you feel like they just evil towards you and they gaslight you into believing that something ain't what it is, there's some family members. So yeah, you can't do nothing with me. What is that thing with them vampires they try to kill? Well, it's nothing we could do about him. Yeah, it's nothing you can do about me. Y'all will be taken care of before me. Because I have a purpose on this planet. You see, something that y'all don't know nothing about that's greater than me. And y'all have no purpose but what? To harm people. To abuse people. So yeah, I hope that my story really helps somebody. And I love y'all so much. And keep yourself safe. Protect your energy. And protect your energy from energy harvesting through just not giving them a reaction and leaving for your safety. And exposing them for who they truly are. The frauds.